For years, investors and analysts have been captivated by one question: will the Iraqi dinar ever revalue and become a major player on the world stage? The internet is filled with rumors of an overnight RV that could make people rich. But what's the real story? Today, we're cutting through the noise to explore the real potential of the Iraqi dinar. Will it ever become an internationally traded currency? Let's dive in. First, what does it even mean for a currency to be internationally traded? Think of the US dollar, the euro, or the Japanese yen. You can walk into almost any bank in the world and exchange them freely. They're trusted, stable, and backed by powerful, transparent economies. For the Iraqi dinar to join this exclusive club, it needs to be fully convertible, supported by strong foreign reserves, and backed by a stable political and economic system. Right now, the dinar isn't there yet. It's mostly used within Iraq with very limited trading outside its borders. So what's holding it back? The biggest hurdle has been Iraq's turbulent history. Since 2003, the country has faced significant political instability and governance challenges. This kind of uncertainty makes international banks very hesitant to hold or trade the dinar. Another major issue is Iraq's heavy reliance on oil. Over 90% of the government's budget comes from oil exports. This makes the economy and the dinar's value extremely vulnerable to swings in global oil prices. Imagine if your entire salary depended on one single, unpredictable factor. That's the situation for Iraq's economy. On top of that, Iraq's financial infrastructure is still developing. While things are improving, many transactions are still done in cash, and the digital banking systems needed for global trade aren't fully in place yet. Finally, to play in the global financial arena, you have to follow the rules. This means strict compliance with anti-money laundering and counterterrorism financing regulations. Iraq has made progress, but there's still work to do to meet all international standards. But it's not all bad news. The Central Bank of Iraq, or CBI, is actively working to change this narrative. They're the key player in this story, and they've been making some serious moves. The CBI has been cracking down on illegal currency trading, building up its foreign currency reserves to support the dinar, and working closely with international bodies like the IMF and the World Bank to guide reforms. A huge part of this is the push towards digitalization. By introducing electronic payment systems and encouraging banks to go digital, the CBI is laying the groundwork for a modern financial system that can connect with the rest of the world. These steps are absolutely crucial for building the trust and transparency needed for the dinar to be recognized globally. It's a slow and steady process, but it's a clear signal that Iraq is serious about modernizing its economy. And we are seeing tangible signs of economic progress that support this push for globalization. Iraq's foreign reserves have grown to tens of billions of dollars, creating a strong financial safety net. As one of the world's top oil exporters, rising global demand continues to fill government coffers, providing the funds needed for development. But more importantly, Iraq is finally starting to look beyond oil. There's a growing focus on diversifying the economy by investing in sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and construction. This is a game changer. A diversified economy is a stable economy, and a stable currency needs a stable economy behind it. We're also seeing a shift in how people handle money. The rise of digital banking and fintech solutions means more Iraqis are using formal banking services, which strengthens the entire financial system and boosts its credibility on the international stage. However, let's be realistic. Despite all this progress, significant challenges remain. The CBI still maintains tight controls on currency exchange to fight the black market. For the dinar to trade internationally, these restrictions would need to be lifted, which is a risky move without complete economic stability. Corruption also remains a major roadblock. As long as transparency is an issue, foreign investors will remain cautious. Security is another concern. While the situation has improved dramatically, regional tensions and occasional unrest can still spook investors. And of course, the big one, economic diversification. Until Iraq can successfully reduce its dependency on oil, its currency will always be at the mercy of volatile global energy markets. So the road ahead is still long and filled with obstacles that need to be carefully navigated. A country's currency is also a reflection of its international relationships. Iraq's journey toward a globalized dinar heavily depends on its diplomacy. Stronger partnerships with the United States, China, and its neighbors in the Middle East are essential for building the trust needed for broader currency acceptance. We're already seeing interesting developments, like the Iraq-China trade agreement where some oil sales are settled in the Chinese yuan. This shows Iraq is finding its place in a changing global financial landscape. However, the complex politics of the region mean that sanctions or restrictions from Western nations could easily limit these opportunities. For the dinar to truly go global, Iraq needs to successfully navigate this intricate web of international relations, building bridges and fostering strong, stable trade partnerships across the board. So let's address the elephant in the room, the RV, or revaluation. Many online forums are buzzing with speculation about a sudden, dramatic spike in the dinar's value. But economists and financial experts are quick to pour cold water on this idea. A massive overnight revaluation is extremely unlikely. Instead, any increase in the dinar's value will almost certainly be a gradual process, reflecting real, tangible economic growth, better governance, and increased foreign investment. Think of it less like a lottery ticket and more like a long-term investment in a company that's slowly turning itself around. A more realistic scenario is that the dinar might first become a regionally traded currency, perhaps within the Middle East, before it ever achieves full international convertibility. This would be a major milestone and a logical next step on its journey. So what is the path forward? For the Iraqi dinar to become an internationally traded currency, a few key things must happen. First, Iraq needs to continue strengthening its political institutions and make serious headway in reducing corruption to build investor trust. Second, it must accelerate its efforts to diversify the economy away from its dependence on oil. Third, it needs to keep modernizing its banking and financial regulations to align perfectly with international standards. And finally, it must consistently demonstrate stability and transparency to win the confidence of global markets. None of this is easy, and all of it will take time. But the good news is that the reforms are moving in the right direction. The pieces are slowly being put into place for a stronger, more resilient Iraqi economy. So, to answer our original question, will the Iraqi dinar become an internationally traded currency? The most honest answer is, not anytime soon, but the potential is definitely there for the future. The journey is a marathon, not a sprint. The progress we're seeing in Iraq's economic reforms, the modernization of its central bank, and its growing engagement with the world are all incredibly promising signs. However, the path is paved with challenges that require years of sustained effort to overcome, like ensuring political stability and diversifying the economy. For anyone watching the dinar, patience and a focus on real-world developments are key. This isn't a story about instant profits. It's a story of a nation's long-term transformation. If Iraq stays on its current path of reform, the dream of an internationally traded dinar might one day become a reality. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of finance. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.